Good morning. It's a glorious day. These are glorious times. This is the perfect storm. It's all set up for us to make this shift, this phase shift, 180 degree bang. So the table has been set. Airstrikes from the United States into Syria based on a narrative which I'm telling you clearly is false, that the reason for the airstrike in Syria in an effort to regime change Syria and remove Assad is based on a narrative that's being told to the American people, and I guess the world, but certainly the American people, that it's in response to our outrage of a chemical attack by Assad on his own people. Now, this all happened, the whole same drama happened 2013. If you don't remember that, go look at that. It's the same exact drama. But there's no evidence. If there is evidence, this is the new strategic piece that they think we're going to buy, is that the evidence is classified because it's high, in the intelligence community has looked at this evidence, has come back to us and told us, the intelligence community, that's what we're being told, that's who's advising Donald Trump, that there's hard evidence and this is what we should do. Now, have we heard that before? People! If you're sleeping through this, if there's any part of you that is like, that makes sense, go get him, go get the bad guy. If there's any of you who are thinking that right now, please just take a few breaths and just look at a little bit of history. Just look at a little bit of history. There's a false narrative being campaigned to us. It's an ongoing campaign, political campaign, or it's not the politicians, it's the people who pull their strings and the entities that pull the synthetic entities. Synthetic entities. All I'm saying is that there's an entity called a corporation. There's some huge ones that are bigger than most countries. And these entities, in their business model, might have, not all of them do, but some really big ones seem to, if you look at what's going on. They have in their business model the resources of people, and planet in their business model are disposable, expendable, just consumable at no cost to the profit of the enterprise. So where humans and our planet, which is just providing an amazing set of resources, that's what she does. When they're deemed disposable, expendable, that is what I'm saying to you is a characteristic of a synthetic energy. It doesn't have a heart, doesn't have a beating heart, doesn't have blood coursing through its veins, doesn't have all these systems that work together in collaboration so magically. And that's just human beings. Now, all the other expressions of nature, same thing, beating hearts. There's this organic life force. Life force, that's right. Linked to the Creator, however you want to describe that. And then there's this synthetic world. And in that world, the experience of carnage. Now, the President of the United States used carnage in a specific way in his inaugural address. And now he's perpetrating carnage. Worse, maybe. So, words and actions. The key here is to witness the world intentionally and consciously in an investigatory energy, which is your natural energy, by the way. We're adventurers, we're human beings. We've been squashed down into lemmings. But that's the beauty of what's happening right now, is because it's a very easy filter. It seems that there's bipartisan support for the strike into Syria by the United States. So that's a filter. Because I'm telling you, anybody who buys into that story, if you buy into it and it makes sense to you, that's okay. But then require evidence. We have come into an age in this country, in our culture, in the society, that has evolved from its founding values, evolved in a, not in a good way. But we've come to this feeling that everything's, the way it's supposed to be, and I just need to survive. Right? So, and anyone who does that, here's the bottom line. This is the knock you off your horse shit, right? Oh, well, how can I say this? That the power of the giant corporation in trying to manage messaging, and actually to launch a perpetual campaign, advertising campaign, with this very specific narrative about what's normal, and then what's normal, and then basically so organic, synthetic, look at it. It just, I know this is truth. This is GNOW, knowing. I call that Gnostic, knowing. Gnostic. Interesting stuff. Anyway. This is the time for us. So we can look at this and be afraid. That's what they want. So we can't look at this and be afraid. It's not about not being afraid. It's about being confident. It's about absolute confidence. And where do you find that? The only way you can find that on your path is if you look in your heart, which is the first place you should look. And then I'm going to tell you a belief I have, and I'm going to invite you to look at that. The belief I have is that when I look into my heart, I connect with everything. And I know that beyond the physical is a non-physical world, experience, and that as a human being I'm allowed to experience that. The synthetics can't. The synthetics don't have hearts. But now, for those of you who are not aware of this, please look at this. A few years ago, it's been a long time, the Supreme Court had a decision. They called it Citizens United. What the, Citizens United. It's amazing how Orwellian this is, that the names of things are the opposite of the effective things. This is all in the campaigning. There's so much to talk about in advertising and campaigning, continual campaigning of this false agenda through an organized media. It's organized. I mean, there's like 5 big media companies in the world, big, and they all kind of, editorialize to a common agenda, a false narrative. So we need to now, this is very, 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 very critical, because we're about to launch a war in Syria, which will involve Russia, Iran, and it will, I believe the attempt is, let's have World War III, and then we'll just distract everybody again, because people are getting too smart now. They're waking up. People are waking up. So we better just smash them down with a world war, and in the process make tons of money, and expand that disparity